Hey everyone, here we are at FINCA ALBA NUEVA, or the New Dawn Center in Costa Rica, in Pérez Celedón. I'm here with Ed Bernhardt. He is a master gardener and author of several books and many articles in English and in Spanish on organic gardening and medicinal herbs and other great topics. And we just did a fantastic podcast interview, which you can find at sharinginsights.net. And Ed is going to give us a little tour of his systems for building soil and growing food and herbs. And from there, I'm going to let you take it, Ed. Show us what you got.
Very well. Well, we're going to start right here in the dirt. Okay, and here you can see we're building a compost pile. Okay, you can see there's our kitchen garbage from the week. Okay, and before it rains here, I'll get the lawnmower out and I will mow and get a couple baskets or a wheelbarrow load of this green clippings, put it over top, and then I'll cover it with these plastic sheets here and let it go for a week or more, so it just sort of doesn't get disturbed by our wildlife. We have armadillos and other creatures that come and dig in there. So you want to keep it protected for a little time. And then you can see over here, this one's 2 weeks old.
Wow, that's really
broken down. You can hardly see
fast.
the garbage now. All right. And it's time for Ed to get the shovel out and do a little bit of aerobics. Okay, and I'm going to turn this. I'll try and turn it so that what's on the bottom comes up on top and what's on top goes on the bottom. All right.
Because up here in the center, we've got, if I stuck my hand in there, it'd be pretty hot, right? From all the microbiotic activity. And then, but they need air to really
see. And so I've taken off the plastic, and it's been a week like this getting water and air. I did a turn, but I'll turn it one more time. And then you can see it starts to turn into, it continues decomposing. Here we have one that is finishing. And you can see.
How long's this been here?
This has been here probably a month and a half or so. There you can see it's nice and black. Now this area I started about 6 months ago, and it was full of the roots of the bamboo. If you turn around there,
that bamboo's roots are all the way over here.
Bamboo. That bamboo has roots that went all the way up to the house.
Wow.
Okay. So this was one of the hardest gardens I've ever done in my life.
So they're not rhizomes that are making it to the house.
No, there's these
roots
tough
that we see here.
This tough fibrous roots. Okay. And so I just keep passing these old roots. You know, they don't decompose right away, so I just pass them to the new compost pile. But you can see this soil is very rocky.
Okay.
And so it wasn't easy. It took me maybe like a morning to double dig a bed.
Just one bed, yeah,
throwing out all the roots and the stones. As I said, it was one of the hardest gardens I've done in my lifetime, and I've done a lot of them. But at any rate, it's a good example of, if you have poor soil, don't worry, okay? Because with your compost and your organic fertilizers, you can make the soil thrive. Here we have the fertilizer that we were talking about today. Okay, the bio-ferment. Okay, as I filter that, this is what will come out. Okay.
Yummy.
All right, and it has, even here you can smell the nice sort of pleasant odor.
Yeah.
Okay.
For anyone who likes, say, like a kombucha or something like that. Yeah.
Okay. And so now I distribute this at our stand in the farmer's market, okay? And people come back and buy it. For people that are interested in that, you only need 3 shovelfuls of rich compost from your compost, finely strained so that it's like real fine, okay? Then you add half a gallon of molasses, a gallon of whey, okay? Fruit, that's the one also. Bananas, here we have lots of bananas, so we add these squished bananas into the mix, okay?
Secret
sauce. A
sauce.
handful of ashes, okay, which is rich in minerals too. And I put into the new bucketful some of this as our culture. It's like you would with yogurt, right? You would add a little bit of yogurt to your new batch, okay? And so that's all it takes.
So to a bucket, about how much of that?
I would imagine it would only be like half a cup would be more than enough.
Okay.
You know, because this is a culture which will bloom within the bucket itself.
With all the sugar.
And so it'll just continue to work there. Okay, so we call it a bio-ferment, okay? And this is sort of the future of gardening and agriculture in general, because it's so effective in breaking down the nutrients so that plants can have it, okay? And so that's the secret. This is a bio-sand filter.
A bio-sand filter.
Yeah, in here, it's a little, okay, it's a column of sand, special sand, okay? And what we do is we pour the water in from our well here, and it fills up and comes out this end totally filtered. The water has to go all the way through here and come up here and out, okay? And the secret of this is right on the surface of this sand is a little bio community, I want to say microbiological community that takes whatever gets stuck there, they eat it up. They eat up the bacteria, they eat up any fungal matter, any algae. They're the ones that make this thing work.
All right.
Now, you can't use chlorinated water in it.
Because it'll kill
it
all
will
that
kill
bacteria.
that little community there,
Right.
see? And you have to do it every day. You can't let it go dry. So those are some of the things that
You have to fill it with, you have to process water every day.
every day, every day. Now, maybe you could skip a day or two, really. But if you let that little system there dry out or you don't feed it, well, then it's not going to work.
So the way you've got your plumbing here, your water level's always going to be up high, which is pretty much, yeah, your water's always going to be above your sand.
Do you see
sand
those
is down
marks
here.
there that you see there?
Yeah.
Okay. So here is when it runs out. And when I fill it up, it comes up to here.
And so it's sitting right here now.
Well, actually, it comes up to
but
here.
then the sand is down lower.
Right, exactly. So
the sand's
it's right
always
here.
covered
You
with
can
water.
see when it comes up to here, it can't go beyond that.
Right.
And so
So the sand's always submerged.
Mhm. So we do a bucket that's like 2.5 gallons, and that's for my wife and I is usually enough. You can do that about 4 times a day.
Mhm.
So you could have probably 2.5 times 4, about 10 gallons of water for drinking. And we just love it. It's just so clean tasting and clear. So this, you'll find this on YouTube too. It's called the Bio Sand Filter. So there's a lot of tutorials that can help you create your own.
I love it. Low tech and low maintenance too. You don't change the sand.
My well is very clean. Okay. So I would imagine if you had real muddy soil or water, you might have to clean it.
Right. Like our
occasionally.
spring, we're pushing fresh water out of our spring, but when the rains come and the aquifers get stirred up
gets a
from the
little
fresh
muddy,
input,
right.
the spring water gets a little,
Yeah.
has clay sediment in it. So I could imagine this would need to get changed after a season, potentially, I imagine.
It maybe not, because ours too, it'll turn a little yellow in color. But that, when it comes out the other end, it's just
that's a lot of
clear.
sand. Yep.
So very, very nice for example, homesteaders. I bought over there in the laboratory, there's a filter that cost me $300. Okay, and this one cost me $35. Now we're in our old garden, okay, for some 30 or more years, gave us an incredible production of vegetables and fruits along the border. But over the years, these trees over here have grown up, and it's too shady here now.
Okay, yeah.
So that's one of the important things when considering a site, is how good the light is and for what purpose. For vegetables, you need lots of light. If not, well, then the plants are skinny and they don't produce well. So now it's dedicated to a medicinal plant production. We have gotu kola, okay, the sage tea, one of the best herbal drinks that you can drink, with the little fan-shaped leaves.
So this has become your go-to cola paradise. You've got,
exactly. This is where we harvest and distribute gotu kola, which is excellent for your memory, circulation, your skin. That's why they call it the centenarian herb, or the if you want to live 100 years, be sure you include gotu kola. This is the Pau de Arco tree. In Costa Rica, they call it Roble Sabana. But the indigenous people knew all about this tree, and it is one of the most valuable healing medicines that we have on this continent.
I know a lot of people use it for combating candida and other fungal conditions.
That's a specific,
right?
yes. That's also for the lungs.
Okay.
For
and aesthetically,
for lung problems.
Heck of a beautiful flower.
It's very antiviral too. We've had so many testimonies that it worked for dengue and all the flus. We feel that it would probably work for this new flu. But
hopefully the opportunity to test it isn't going to come knocking on your door.
I have to think about the trees too, you know? We don't want everybody running out and chopping down the trees, right? So we'll see as time goes along. We're using it preventatively, okay? We take a little bit of the tincture every day to keep our immune system nice and strong.
Yeah, so in our podcast interview, we were talking about how we at our farm have 2 giant clumps of this aspen bamboo.
Right.
And we got it from here, and it's not quite this big, but we've already done our first harvest from it. And I've told a few people of how we propagated it, or how you helped us propagate it. And I think that'd be a great thing to show everybody. So tell us a little bit about the bamboo propagation.
Wonderful. Well, as you can see, these have been here for many, many years, probably 20 years or more. And so they are magnificent now. Basically, there's 2 ways. You can dig up one of the sprouts that come out from the edge of the bamboo and plant that somewhere. Or you can take the very top, which is can be grown very quickly, laying it down in the soil. So that's what we did,
That's
right?
what we did, yeah.
And so it's like a cutting that you put into the soil.
So I just want to show here. It was the coolest thing. I'd never heard of it before. But we took a piece that was, I don't know, maybe 1.5 meters, and in between each of these nodes, we cut a little hole.
Window, yeah.
A window in each one, and we put it in the dirt, just about halfway buried. And the windows collect water. And with that water, each node threw shoots into the ground, roots, and then grew up. And it took quite a while to grow that way. It took us probably about 4 or 5 years before it really started producing more than a few little shoots. But once it took, now it's like we've got one that we can watch it grow day by day. It's growing another meter or so. It's cool.
Bamboo is probably the new material for the future. These there are probably 150 foot tall, okay, and very soon we're going to create a Gothic arch solar dryer. That's our next project, okay? So I'm really looking forward to that.
Can't wait to see it.
Yeah,
All right, Ed, thanks for the tour of the farm.
You're welcome. It was a pleasure.
All right.
And high five there to the folks out there in the virtual world.
And feel free to check out ALBA NUEVA's website, newdawncenter.info. And you can find more out about what Ed's been doing here and find some of his other resources. He's got some great PDFs and some videos and other things that you can continue your learning journey. Thanks for joining us.